Well, hi, this is Ken Connell with Destinies Life Skills and Coaching Mentors with another session of advice from a life coach. In this session, we're going to talk about the importance of take action. All right, so this is Ken with Destinies Life Skills and Coaching Mentors, reminding you of the importance of taking action. And so I hope that you are an existing life coach client of ours and you've come to this page because I encouraged you to do this because I think this is an important message that you need to hear and will get great benefit from. And so the message that I want to get from you right off the bat is it's important that you take action. Take and do something. And I'm going to use a couple of illustrations of things that have happened in my life and my wife's life to hopefully reinforce that great things are going to take place for you when you take some actions. And so I want to share a story with you about myself and some things that have happened in my life as a result of me making the quality decision to take some action. And so I'll start off with one of the most entertaining and fun things that I've ever had the pleasure of doing as a result of me taking action. And believe it or not, it was scuba diving. So years and years ago, when I was a young man, there was a program called Sea Hunts. And Sea Hunts, the star of the show was Mike Nelson. And as a young kid, I was inspired by this guy that would dive underneath the water and all the scuba diving things he would do and the bad guys he would catch and all the adventures that he had as a scuba diver. And it really planted a seed in me that I wanted to be a scuba diver. Well, I buried that for years. And that seed stayed buried in me for at least 35 years. And inside I always had this intention of someday I want to be a scuba diver. Someday I want to go learn how to scuba dive. And so I was talking with another friend of mine that was about the same age, shared my scuba diving story, and he's like, "Oh man, I know exactly what you're talking about, Ken. I got the same dream. Let's go do it." And I sat there for a second, because he really inspired me. He said, "Ken, let's go do something. Let's just take some action. Let's go do this." And I thought about it, and I thought, my first reaction, of course, was, no, I don't have time. But I thought, if I don't do something with this and take action, I'm never going to do this. And so he said, "Come on, let's go. Come on." And I'm like, "All right, sign us up." And lo and behold, he gave me a call about, I think it was probably a month later, and he said, "Ken, I did it. I signed us up. You are signed up for a scuba lesson on such and such a date at this shop, and so we're going to go do this thing." My first reaction to do that was, I don't have the time, no. And inside I started coming up with these excuses, but it never came out of my mouth, but I was thinking it. But I also came to my senses and I thought, man, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do this, and I'm just going to continue to lie to myself. And it was important enough that I thought, now or never. And so I just found myself saying, all right, let's do this thing. So we did it. And as a result, we ended up going to the shop, the pool, got certified as a diver, because this was a lifelong dream of mine that I had had. And I was excited that I am finally going to get to go do this dive thing. And so as a result of that, one of the things that we needed to do after we did one local dive was we wanted to go to Mexico, and I wanted to experience the Caribbean. It's like, that's what scuba divers do. I want to go experience all this great stuff. And so I was excited, but I was still freaked out. I was scared to death, as a matter of fact, because there's a difference between doing this in a pool and doing this in the open ocean. God knows what's going to come up from the deep and eat me. Well, all that was fear-based. So I ended up going to Mexico with my wife, and all I wanted to do was go off of the dock. I didn't want to go do any boat dive. I didn't want to do anything big like the big boys are doing. I just wanted to do something that us little guys can do, because I was still freaked out. And so without going into the whole story, because it's quite lengthy, some pretty awesome challenges in my life. we made arrangements to go diving. I thought we were going to go off the end of the dock, but we made through a language barrier mistake. We ended up going out on the boat, out into the ocean, and our first dive ever in our life was a night dive. First time ever, and it was a night dive. And without going into all the gruey details, it was everything that it was not supposed to be. My dream was crushed. I almost died on this scuba diving adventure. I got separated from my partner, who was my wife, and it was catastrophic in what took place. And this does have a point about taking action, okay? And it was catastrophic in my life because when I came to the surface, you know, I did the entire dive alone because I got separated from the group. My mask flooded, my eyes were burning, I panicked 3 or 4 times. I surfaced in the middle of a school of jellyfish right behind a boat that I thought was going to run over me. I panicked, shot back down, only to find my fin that far from a shark. And then when I got my sense about me, I found my other fin that far from an octopus. I was one freaked out character. And so when I finally get back on the boat, I'm destroyed. I'm thinking, my God, I've spent all this money that I've completely wasted, and this was what diving is like. And so it was more than just the money for me, though. It was a dream that I'd wasted and found out nothing like this is what I expected. I didn't expect this at all. And so my dream was destroyed. Well, the take action part comes with, I'd made a quality decision that I'm going to do this, and thank God we had paid for the next day's dive. And I thought, okay, I've paid for this thing. I guess I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time during the day this time. Maybe something different will happen. And it did. Vicki and I did that dive. Vicki, my wife of 40 plus years, we did that dive, and it was awesome. It was inspirational. It was encouraging. I did what I was supposed to. It was nothing at all like the first dive. And so I worked through my difficulties. I took action and worked through that difficulty. And the end result was absolutely transforming for me. We ended up becoming very, very avid scuba divers. Made hundreds of dives, seen all kinds of great, wonderful things. And for me, one of the best moments of my life is when my wife Vicki and I are down, in the depths, and we're 30, 40, 80, 90 feet down below, and I'll just reach over and take her hand. And I am experiencing some awesome things at that moment, because now I'm doing what was a dream of mine. I'm doing it with my best friend in the universe. I'm doing something that so many people have never even tried because of the fears. And so I'm experiencing this all because I took action. It was life-changing for us. And so I'm thankful that I made that quality decision to take action that day, because I've got some awesome life's experiences around this diving thing. The camaraderie, the friendships that we had developed, the experiences, the countries that we visited just because of the diving. And so it all came as a result of that take action decision years ago. And so I'm going to encourage you, take action. I've got a couple of other stories I want to share with you about the importance of taking action and the great things that can happen in your life as a result of this. Nothing great is going to take place by taking no action. You're going to need to take some action. And so another great life-changing thing in taking place with taking action was my wife, Vicki. Years ago, she had made the quality decision that she was no longer going to be a victim in life, but she was going to be an overcomer. And she had every reason in the world to be a victim from the way that she was raised as a young child and the profound abuse that she went through in her life, of every abuse that you can think of. But she made a quality decision that she was not going to be a victim. She was going to take action. And so as a result of that, through the course of her life, she has become a very, very influential person in the lives of other people that have gone through some of the same horrific things that she went through. And so now, because she takes action, she is a part of, not one of, but the most influential program in our county jail when it comes to breathing life into inmates and changing their life and helping them switch the thinking from being a victim to being a decision maker, to take action and change their lives. And so she does a problem she calls transformations and choices. And it's a direct result of her making the conscious decisions to take action. And in her, it didn't start just years ago. It was years ago, but she also had to continue that process to take action to become a speaker in front of small groups, because she was freaked out. She was the wallflower galore. We'd go out into people's homes and places, and there'd be 4 or 5 of us hanging around, and she was always the wallflower. She didn't say much. She didn't have a lot to add. Let me rephrase that. She had a lot to add, but she just kept it bottled up. So she made the decision to take action. And as a result of that, the action she took was she went out and got certified and got her credentials to do this Transformations and Choices program that has affected so many people. And as a result of her taking action, she now has a program that is absolutely impacting hundreds and hundreds of people. On a regular basis, she changes people's lives. She is the great influencer in our life, in our family. She has influenced so many people in positive things, and it's because she made a quality decision to take action. So another reason I'm going to encourage you to take action is you don't know what doors it's going to take. I'll guarantee you no great doors are going to open by you doing nothing. No, it doesn't work that way. But by you taking action, oh man, now you get positioned by the universe for great things to start to take place for you. And so another example of this would be in my life again. Years ago, I went through a phase in my life, this is 30 years ago, 35 years ago. I went through a phase in my life where I really was feeling, discouraged and depressed, and I can't do anything. A lot of things I set my hand to failed, I felt like, and even though that wasn't the case, that's what I was feeling. And as clear as a bell, I felt like God asked me, yeah, I do talk to God, and hopefully I'll listen to him. I felt like God asked me or told me, if you want to overcome this, Ken, you need to do something in your life you said that you could never do. And, he said, you need to do this just because I live in you, not because of yourself, but because you can do greater things than what you realize. And I took that to heart. And I thought, you know what? About the most impossible thing in the world for me is to do something musical, because I sucked at it. And I bought that fear and never pursued it. I'd be okay being a roadie or hanging around in a band, but oh God, never play an instrument, never be a part of the band. And so I took that challenge to heart, and I said, you know what, about the most impossible thing in the world for me to do would be do something musically, and so I'm going to play the guitar. And as a result, I picked the guitar up, and it did not come easy. I took action to pick something up that was not a natural gifting and talent for me. On the contrary, it was painful. I would play and practice till my fingers bled. I would play and practice until all my family would leave the room. They'd had enough of this. They'd see the guitar come out. Oh God, no, not another one. And what it led to was some incredibly rewarding experiences, because I did go through that learning curve. I took action and I went through that learning curve, and as a result I got to the point where I could play, and I could play in the band, and I was no profound player. I wasn't great at it. I was very, very happy in doing it, and I found a passion that I didn't realize would be there, and it came from something I said that I could never do. But I took action, and as a result, I was doing something I said I could never do, and it felt great. As a result of that, picking the guitar up, it took me out into a local jail facility where we would go out and play music for the inmates out there. And that opened the door of incredible opportunity for me. I found, wow, number one, I like this. I enjoy being on the giving end instead of the receiving end. I enjoy going out and doing these things. And so I would go out there on a regular basis playing music for the inmates, and I thought, wow, these are not the only guys that need help. And so from that, other doors opened up for me to go into almost every prison in our state, playing my guitar. And if you'd have told me that 5 years before it happened, I'd have said, you are freaking nuts. But because I took action, it started opening up some great doors of opportunity, satisfaction for me, happiness. Some of my greatest musical moments, believe it or not, have been inside of prison walls. And it was incredibly rewarding in my life. I felt that sense of accomplishment. I felt that sense of, if I can do this, what else can I do? And so it started opening all kinds of doors for me because I took action. And I followed through. I made a quality decision. We took action. My wife and I both have made quality decisions, and we took action. And so as a life coach, I'm really going to admonish you, take action in something. One of the videos that I put out as a supplement for you life coach clients is things that cause success, things that cause failure. And the number one thing causing failure in people's life is they procrastinate. And so I'm going to encourage you, don't procrastinate about this. Take action in something, whether it's volunteering, learning a new skill, because in doing this, when you are active and moving, it's so much easier for your life's purpose to be revealed to you, for you to find meaning and purpose and happiness and contentment and clarity. Even if you take the wrong action, well, it's like Edison inventing the light bulb. He finally found one process that would make a light shine, but he revealed to everybody what I found before that was 10,000 ways for it not to work. And so he didn't let the 10,000 failures stop him. I didn't let the one poor choice of making a night dive stop me. I didn't let the fact that I had cut my thumb off, years ago with a wood joiner in a woodworking accident. I didn't let that stop me from playing the guitar. Vicki didn't let the indiscretions and tragedies that happened in her family as a child stop her. She made quality decisions and she took action. I took action. We take action. Become an action-oriented person, because in doing that, you're going to find so many more meaningful moments in your life start to open up. Don't worry so much about doing the wrong actions. They'll become pretty clear that, whoa, you shouldn't have done this. But press on through that. Work your way through that. It's much, much easier to move a moving ship than it is to start it and try to get it to turn in the first place. So it's much easier to move a vessel as it is in motion. As you're in motion, greater things are going to start to open up for you. As you sit there and do nothing, nothing great is going to happen unless that nothing is you getting quiet and listening. What's the next great thing that I can do? Ask for some inspiration. Get quiet, make a decision, take some action. That one thing that you've always wanted to do in your life, are you going to go do it? Why not now? Go do it. You don't know what great doors of possibility you open by you getting into action. And so as a life coach, this is a big, big choice that I'm encouraging you to embrace. Take action. You don't know what great things might happen as a result of you taking action. I can tell you what great things will happen by you not taking action. Nothing. Take action. It's going to benefit you, your sphere of influence, people around you. Become a person of action. Instead of complaining about it, take action. Instead of looking at all the things that you don't have in life, look at what you do have. Take action and share those things with other people. Find somebody that needs something that you've got to offer. Take action and offer it to them. Help them. As you become active and motivated and doing things, you're going to find all kinds of great juices start to flow up within you. You become more motivated about doing things. You'll become goal-oriented. In your mind's eye, you'll envision you being successful doing something instead of successful punching the remote on the sofa. Couch potatoes don't make history. except for becoming the most obese country in the world. Take action. Get rid of some of those things. Get rid of the doubt. Get rid of the unbelief and start embracing the fact that you have your greatest victory, challenge, and rewarding experiences still in your future. You have not lived them yet if you get busy and go. Don't let the successes and the accomplishments that you've seen in the past be the only things that define you. You've got your greatest moments in your future, but you're going to have to take action to go pursue them. And it's not going to happen without you taking action. So, advice from this life coach, take action. It's got every probability in the world of paying you a great dividend. And even if it's the wrong one, eventually you're going to find the right one. Take action. Take action. Oh, if you didn't get it in the first place, take some action. It's going to feed you life. Take action.